if anybody was to go back in the summer of 2023 that I saw, they said this happened even when Lori Lightfoot was in office the last year.
Mm-hmm.
From the police stations to the oh my god, the emergency rooms at the hospital.
Yeah.
Like it really was like a scene out of a movie. So when people tell me what Donald Trump is doing is inhumane, I'm like, you don't think it was inhumane what the last administration did? You don't think it
Right.
was inhumane that they let 22 million people over here and they stole their resources? So and then the ones who did come over here because they really were seeking asylum, because don't get it wrong, let's sit here and say that there were ones that did, but those people now are caught up in a scam because the last administration knew that this generation, not just blacks,
Mm-hmm.
whites, Hispanics, Asians, Africans, everybody that assimilated to this culture, American culture, and grew up without the segregation and the racism and the prejudice and all this stuff, knew that the Democratic Party is getting weird, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
getting weird. These independent candidates ain't hitting either.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I guess I'm either going to sit out or I'm voting for Trump. I voted for Trump already. Trump. I mean, y'all said Trump was a bad guy, but Trump really wasn't a bad guy. This is what people were thinking about.
Right. Right.
So, and when people started seeing that, I mean, when the Democratic Party started seeing that they did not have that, they couldn't play that victim anymore. They couldn't keep saying that the white man is the one that's keeping us down and we're oppressed, and this manufactured narrative of that every white man that is over 60 and as a Republican that they're anti-black. Nobody's not going to continue
Right.
to deal with that.
Now
We can't.
you make a good
Yes.
point on that. You make a really good point on that because, and I think more people are doing that. They're starting to say, okay, I don't have to look at the branding of a party. I got to pay attention to how things are actually being run. Because to your point, a lot of people don't understand that most of the problems that, black people had, in my opinion, in this country were not necessarily just federal. Yeah, no, just to your point, like I think that people don't realize a lot of this civil rights issues were a state issue at first. They weren't necessarily just
Right.
federal. That's the reason why a lot of the movement had to go to federal because they had to bypass all the stuff that was happening in
Right.
statewide. So I think that what you guys are doing, I think, is important because you have to understand that it's not about the Republicans as a party of the whole country. People have to understand that what's going on in Chicago is specific to Chicago, and every state has their own problems. But I think what is very interesting about what you said, and kind of what I've been trying to report on this channel, is that so I find it interesting that when it comes to immigration, I think that a lot of black people in Chicago, for example, some are like on the front lines at some of these protests, like the No Kings protests and a lot of the immigration protests. And I do understand. I've seen a lot of different ICE interactions as everybody else has in person or on TV, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. But ultimately, people have to look at it and say, well, how did we get into that situation in Chicago? And to your point, I think that there's a lot of things that are kind of skated over as to where a lot of illegal migrants were placed, and I just find it weird. So what do you think about a lot of people who are black who are having illegal migrants in their neighborhoods, and then at the same time, it's like for the South Shore raid and other raids, it's like I'm like, man, it's not like they're going after black people, but it's like they put the people that they'll be targeting or that would be necessarily targeted in the future. The last administration did put them in black neighborhoods. So I just
Yeah.
find that interesting, for people to get out there and want to
Yeah. I think
protest.
it's the fault of the CTU. It's the fault of these paid off preachers and priests like Father Flager. You're dealing with a design now. When they say that everything is done by design, placing them in our community was designed. That was designed, and the reason why, because if Kamala would have got in there, they would have continued their mission with making us the new class of homelessness. If you would, that was that.
Mm,
Number two was they knew that if Trump, well, they didn't think Trump was going to get in there, but now Trump is in there. Now it's a vendetta. We're going to make it hard. Chicago's not going to work
hmm
with you. Now you see Mayor Browser, Muriel Browser from DC. She ended up finally saying, "All
hmm
right,
Right.
Memphis mayor, you didn't even see him. He didn't even fold. He didn't even. I don't even know who the mayor is over there in Memphis because he didn't say,
Yeah, I mean they started off against it and then they kind of just acquiesced and understood like, okay,
yeah,
well it looks
like
like
look like it's working,
it's
right?
working.
Because you got to think too. Well, I don't want to lose my mayor position. It really ain't that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like if this works, cool. And I'm not gonna. So why is our mayor wanting to go on strike now? Now you want to do a general strike. You wanna stand ten. You wanna. We're gonna stand. We're gonna fight Trump. No, you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna fight
Right.
Trump. Like the Democratic Party has made poverty a lifestyle. Poverty is not a lifestyle, and you're not going to continue to sit here and say that we are impoverished. No, you're making us impoverished. This Marxism, this communism, this socialism agenda that you think you guys are going to continue to push on people who don't want to be that. I don't want people talking saying like, well, "What are you?" I'm a capitalist with the big C.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I am too. I think that you're right. I mean, a lot of it is just branding, and it's interesting that you say that because a lot of people are going to say, well, Trump is trying to militarize the streets and stuff like that.